So, YouTube family, Louis Riddick spoke on a situation with ESPN, and he exposed a lot about the Cleveland Browns, something that I've been knowing for a while, something that I've been telling y'all. Look, I'm going to give you clips and receipts. You know what we do here when we do the edit videos, but Louis Riddick expounded upon this new theatrics, how ESPN is saying everything. Shedeur Sanders will start. Shedeur Sanders might take over the job. Remember, this is the same ESPN that sabotaged Shedeur for over 3 years. You know, they were on Shedeur's tips when he was at Jackson State, but father went to Colorado. Next thing you know, the negative hit pieces came from one main network. Of course, Fox Sports did it, NBC, all these independent journalists stuck the code. A lot of Mayos were telling us they didn't like us without really saying it. Don't let that go over your head. But ESPN, I've been showing you proof after proof, especially Paul Feinbaum, when we exposed him to be a liar, what he was saying about Deion Sanders. And all of a sudden, now ESPN, the one coming to save the day. They always do it like that. We're going to bring receipts, but let's hit that theme song one time.
I've been broke so many times, I don't know what to believe. Mama say it's my fault, I wear my heart on my sleeve. Niggas bless up on my...
So Louis Riddick touched upon something a lot of people didn't want to talk about. So he started off this thing, which I caught him because it's alluding to what I've been saying about this Shedeur, Dillon Gabriel, Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco competition. If Shedeur is given an organic chance, a real chance, he should be the starter. Not that I'm saying he should, like they should just give it to him. I don't believe in handouts. I'm not a professional victim like most racist Mayo people are, because we're having a racist Mayo fatigue. They say they got black fatigue. Well, since I came out my mom's womb, I got a Mayo fatigue. These people are the bad guys and the good guys at the same time. The antagonist in a movie, the heel in a movie, the superhero in a movie too. It's just disgusting how they keep moving the goalposts, bitching and complaining all day long, while Louis Riddick just made a mistake and said the truth. Don't fall for the ESPN narrative, because the big if is a reality that he knows what we knows. Why would Louis Riddick say this right here? Pay attention, guys.
It's not ridiculous as long as they are able to. And I heard Dan Graziano talking about this morning earlier on ESPN radio. Yeah, I listen to it when I'm in my car in the morning. It's all, as long as they can get him enough reps. And it sounds like Kevin Stefanski is aware of the fact that in order to create a real quarterback competition, he has to kind of change some things in terms of the way he divvies out reps during the preseason and during the offseason. If he can compete with Dillon Gabriel, if he can compete with Joe Flacco, he can compete with Kenny Pickett, there's a very good chance that if this is an organic competition with the level playing field, he could be your starter week one. No question about it.
Notice what Louis Riddick said. He said two main points. First of all, if it's organic, alluding to the part that he doesn't believe the Browns are going to give Shedeur a real chance, just like I have. This is an expert right here, guys. Former executive in the NFL. Cerebral mindset. He should have been get a general manager's job, but it is the race aspect. So how on God's earth does Louis Riddick does not have a GM job already, and we seen all these other trash guys get a job? Because you can't have an intelligent brother like Louis Riddick in there. He's going to expose too much. I'm already mad he works for the watered down ESPN, but why would he utter the words out if given an organic chance? And why would you utilize that word like that? Pay attention, because you're going to say I'm doing too much, but debunk what I just said. Why would Louis Riddick use if he gets an organic chance? Because he knows with the Cleveland Browns, everything we just seen with the collusion with the NFL owners and teams, all the lies with the fake aficionado experts he has to work with. You don't think an intelligent brother like Louis Riddick doesn't see the dumb idiots he got to work with at ESPN? The goddamn idiots he has to sit beside and pretend they're not just fucking idiots yapping away. He has to actually pretend every day he works with competent individuals and not weirdos who get up every day to say anything like Stephen A. Smith, etc. So-called NFL draft analysts, and they are not expert at anything because he sees what I see, bro. Yes, we see how overwhelmingly Shedeur been handling his situation. He's been playing well. Yes, it's mini camp with no pads, but he's been adjusting far better than what people thought. When you get to see it in person, the accurate throws, the game time decisions, pads or no pads, you see it. Will he be given a real chance? Louis Riddick touched up on something too. He talked about Kevin Stefanski would have to adapt, meaning that he knows Kevin Stefanski is going out of his way to not give Shedeur enough reps. Remember, a reporter brought that up. I did a whole video about it. The reporter was scrutinizing Kevin Stefanski. He like, how did you start off the drills with Dylan Gabriel being the main guy? Because when they were going through regular practical drills, it was to assess normally to see who gets to start off the day with the, first team, of course, rookies, but who starts it off was based off the initial reps first. What Kevin did was just threw Dylan in there, even though Dylan was looking awful. And then Dylan threw 4 interceptions, but they don't bring that part up, right? But Mary Kay talking about how much she's in love with Dylan. The other Cleveland racist personalities talking about how far better Dylan played when we all got eyes. Then Louis Riddick said something like this right here.
Shedeur Sanders showed us all exactly what we expected to see. A young man who's tremendously poised, he's accurate, he has enough athletic ability to throw the football outside the pocket, and most importantly, he can put a lot of velocity on the football when need be, depending upon what the route calls for. He was accurate at all 3 levels. He threw to a tremendous group of wide receivers headlined by Travis Hunter, who didn't take part in the individual drills, but he did run all of the routes for Shedeur during his workout, and he showed you his one-of-one type of fluidity, deep speed, hand-eye coordination, and just overall athleticism. And it's no wonder why he won the Heisman Trophy.
Thank you, Mr. Riddick. Mr. Riddick has been a constant professional throughout being blackballed through the NFL, because he is being blackballed. Mr. Riddick has been exceptional, an expert who hasn't changed none of his talking points. Darren Orlasky started riding Shedeur's tip and Dion, and at 3 days prior to the draft and even after the draft, he's been on a relentless bombardment of, Shedeur really was a 4th round and 5th round. That's what I've been hearing. They switched up. Nick Wright, who cosplayed as a black man every day on television. I don't know why melanated brothers keep giving him a pass. I've shown you proof. He's a bitch ass nigga, but they get to switch their, talking points like most of these mayos and step infections did. And I always told you what they were going to do. Be careful of the people bigging up Shedeur. Watch they fold and switch on him prior to the draft and after the draft, because that's when they get to wash their hands. Now, Louis been constant, been professional and consistent. I even got other receipts when he said this about Dion not going to the NFL because of what he can actually do at Colorado. We've been consistent with our receipts as well.
I don't know if the NFL is a great fit for him because of the way he wants to coach and what he demands in terms of player buy-in, player discipline, no second guessing the coach. And Dion, make no mistake, do not get fooled by the glasses, the gold chains, the change of outfits. This man is old school, and he's no nonsense. And he will tell you that, and if you go watch his football teams and watch how they practice, it's no nonsense. Yeah. But I don't know if he wants to deal with the NFL right now. I don't know.
Did you hear what he said? Like, he threw a shot at his ESPN colleagues and other Mayo journalists who seems to be obsessed when we wear gold chains or a watch. Meanwhile, I showed you pictures of Jackson Dart and his chain. Right? He had a nice chain, by the way. I ain't no hater. But where was the media to talk about Jackson Dart and his diamond-studded chain, right? Diamond-studded chain. Look nice, filthy nice. There was no outrage. A brother can't wear anything that makes them want to use the word we're thugs, criminals, or whatever. But Louis Riddick knows the games that's going on. He's the smartest guy on national TV, definitely the smartest guy in the room on ESPN. Don't tell me about these other idiots. I've been disproving them since I've been doing this. Years and years and years and years. You don't pay attention to it, but I'm paying attention to guys like Louis Riddick. I want you guys to pay attention to guys like Louis Riddick, because we're not falling in love with this ESPN crap of Shedeur might start, but we know where that's starting from. And we know you guys are the ones who built him up to make him have a fall down bigger than life and then try to come back and swoop in to pick him up all over again. We know your narrative, ESPN. Shout out to Louis Riddick, man. My guy, we don't believe in the Cleveland Browns are going to give him an organic chance. I don't believe it. That's the whole point I've been telling you guys. Like, yes, we see all the things here. Of course, we know Shedeur could potentially become the #1 quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. But the problem is if they give him a chance. And that's a big if. Look, man, I'm your guy, DJ Bless, one, the best one. Love your family, love your kids, and stay blessed. Never forget when I tell y'all, this is always going to be bigger than football and deeper than football.